Fangen wir mal an. Warum soll ich für einen dieser Räuber sein? Für Völkerfrieden setze ich mich ein. Frieden schaffen können nur die Völker allein. Warum soll ich für einen?
Syriana befindet sich gerade in einem Gefängnis in London, in einem Hochsicherheitsgefängnis. Er befindet sich in einer Zelle, die ungefähr so groß ist wie hier abgebildet. Und zwar, ich weiß es nicht, so 2,5 mal 3 Meter. Und das Ganze seit über 3 Jahren. Das heißt, jeder Tag, den wir sozusagen in Freiheit verbracht haben, beziehungsweise
Bevor unsere Kundgebung mit den Reden beginnt, möchte ich eine wichtige internationale Stimme gegen den Krieg ankündigen. Jeffrey Sachs hat unserer Kundgebung ein persönliches Video, eine Grußbotschaft angefertigt. Und Jeffrey Sachs, vielen von euch wird er sicherlich ein Begriff sein. Er hat sich oft zu diesem Krieg geäußert. Er hat immer wieder für Verhandlungen und für Frieden plädiert. Jeffrey Sachs ist als Experte für Weltwirtschaft seit vielen Jahren Berater für verschiedene internationale Organisationen wie die Vereinten Nationen, die Weltbank, der internationale
für ein Ende der Kriegsbedrohung in Deutschland, für einen Ausstieg aus der Gewaltspirale und der Militärspirale.
Hello guys, I just came from the demo, the peace demo here in Berlin. It's the equivalent of the Rage Against the War machine in the United States. And I have met, I would say, tens of thousands of people who were here protesting against the war in Ukraine. And the main focus was on not sending tanks or more weapons to the war zones, criticizing the German government and especially the Greens for lobbying to send further weapons to Ukraine. The speakers were mostly from the left party, the Linke, and I have seen people from all sides of this, from all the spectrum of the German society, I would say. I know that there is a big focus from the German mainstream media on this demo, that they're calling them conspiracy theorists or radical right-wing. To be honest, I haven't seen this type of people. There were lots of people from all sides of work, families, kids, dogs, rainbow flags, German flags, Russian flags, peace flags, everything. So it was important, in my opinion, such a demo to happen in Berlin. Not that because it will change anything in the war in Ukraine, because the decision, in my opinion, is taken. And it's very difficult to change the war rhetoric and the war actions from the governments. But this was very important to check what is the public mood in Germany. There were people from all around Germany came to Berlin. And I would say tens of thousands of protesters is a good number. And of course, the pro-war people can also gather, let's say, 50,000 people. But when you are capable of bringing lots of people who were silent in the past 1 year of these hostilities that erupted in Ukraine in February 2022, you're sending a message also to the United States and the government here in Germany that there are considerable number of people who oppose this war, right? And they prefer diplomacy over sending weapons. And this is the thing, this is the twisted narrative that we always hear. If you call for diplomacy, then you're a pro-Putin, you're a Putinist, you're a pro-Kremlin. This is really not the case. We all know, I am a journalist, I come from a war zone, from Syria, and I've seen horrendous things there, and I know what war means. And most of the people who call for war and further escalation, they don't know what war means, and they don't know the consequences of a war on a nation, on a people, on a trauma, everything. It's a very, very dirty war what's happening in Ukraine, and we have to further endorse this beautiful saying, to Joe is better than to war. And to Joe, diplomacy is also the continuation of a war, but with different means. So let's fight with diplomacy and with talking, and let's secure the national security of both the Ukraine, the Russians, and I think the Chinese proposal for diplomatic end of this conflict is very important, especially if there will be the militarized zone, as I heard. But I would say this again, will this demo change anything? I don't think so, because the decision has been taken on a higher level. But it will also prove that there are so many people who are against the war, and if there is a decision to go into further escalation, or because we're on the verge of a nuclear war, right? If further escalation happens, then I think there will be lots of people behind me, people who are like me. I'm happy to meet this type of people in Berlin, because mostly in the past year, lots of people were silent and afraid to speak their minds. But now, since there is a really big danger of escalation and probably slipping into nuclear war and nuclear annihilation, we have to really raise our voices and oppose this type of proxy wars that, to be honest with you, it started in 2014 after the coup d'etat of the CIA in Kiev against the government there, because they didn't want a neutral government in Kiev. And I truly advise or recommend you guys to watch Ukraine on Fire documentary. You can find it on Rumble for Oliver Stone. It's very good for us to understand the historical context of this conflict and what happened also in 2014 and what followed in the aftermath, and how we are now in this conflict. If you watch that, you will really understand lots of things. So I just wanted to make this, let's say, short commentary on this demo. I was there among lots of people. I was so happy to be here. I really feel refreshed to have the feeling that there are people like me. They don't want further escalation, because as I mentioned, lots of people who speak about war and destruction and all this stuff, they haven't seen what war means. They don't know what war means, and they not a single rocket or a bullet was fallen near them. So I think sanity at the end will prevail, and this type of people may not be able to prevent a war, but they are definitely able to stop a war when we are on the verge of an Armageddon. So I've been your host, Georg Almasian of Syriana Analysis. I just wanted to make this commentary after this demo, and see you.